There comes a moment in every man's life when something powerful and unexpected happens. Not when he chases a woman, not when he confesses his feelings, but when he finally stops caring, when his interest fades, when his energy shifts, when his attention no longer revolves around her. And what most men never realize is that this moment reveals a completely different side of female psychology, a side she hides even from herself. Because when a woman realizes you've lost interest, something inside her shatters and awakens at the same time. It's not the loss of your messages or your presence that affects her. It's the loss of the version of herself she used to be when she knew she had your attention. Women don't react to your withdrawal logically, they react emotionally. And when the emotional current shifts, everything changes. Her behavior, her tone, her habits, and even how she sees you, you are no longer the man she expected to chase. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer orbiting her. You become something far more powerful, a mystery she cannot control, a possibility she cannot read, and a loss she never prepared for. At first, she tries to deny it. She tells herself she doesn't care. She acts normal. She stays silent. But inside, her mind begins working overtime. Why did his tone change? Why isn't he giving effort? Is he talking to someone else? Did I misjudge his interest? What if he's done with me? The questions multiply, the doubt intensifies, and the emotional comfort she once took for granted starts slipping through her fingers. The woman who once felt secure suddenly feels unsure. The woman who expected your attention starts searching for it. The woman who believed she had the upper hand now feels the ground shifting beneath her. And then comes the fear, subtle, quiet, unspoken, not fear of losing you, but fear of losing the version of you she never expected to lose, the man who admired her, who wanted her, who prioritized her. When your interest fades, that man disappears and something inside her panics. Women don't chase men who want them. They chase men who have options. They chase men who become unpredictable. They chase men who walk away without noise, without drama, without explanation. Your loss of interest forces her into emotional confrontation. She starts observing you more carefully. She becomes hypersensitive to your actions. She feels tension where there was once comfort, and her reactions, whether calm, angry, confused, flirtatious, distant, or suddenly affectionate, are not random. They are psychological responses to losing emotional control over the dynamic. A woman may stay silent, but her behavior will scream the truth the moment she senses you're slipping away. Because when a man loses interest, it exposes what she truly felt beneath every game, every hesitation, every test. And her reaction reveals everything: her attachment, her pride, her insecurities, and whether she ever valued you at all. This is the moment the masks fall, the ego dissolves, and her real emotions surface. This is how a woman really reacts when she realizes you're not chasing anymore. Before we start, a quick reminder: the real transformation doesn't happen on YouTube. It happens inside the community. If these videos have opened your eyes, what's inside will rebuild your mindset completely. It's not just a course, it's a brotherhood, a private space where men master attraction, emotional control, and the psychology of power. You don't join for a month, you join for life. Every future course, book, and lesson is yours forever. No subscriptions, no limits, just one decision that changes your direction. If you're serious about growth, discipline, and purpose, click the link below. Join the community. Enroll once, grow forever. Let's dive in. Section number 1. She acts unbothered, but inside she's spiraling. The first reaction a woman has when she realizes you've lost interest is deceptively simple. She pretends she doesn't care. She acts unbothered. She tells herself, and sometimes even her friends, that your shift doesn't affect her. She convinces herself she's still in control. But beneath that calm exterior, something entirely different is unfolding. Your loss of interest disrupts her emotional stability far more than she'll ever admit. This initial act of indifference is her shield. It protects her ego, her pride, and her self-image. Women are socially conditioned to appear unfazed when a man pulls back, especially if they assumed they were the ones with the advantage. She'll smile, she'll post normally, she'll reply late or not at all, she'll behave as if everything is under control. But internally, she feels a crack because the dynamic she relied on has suddenly changed. The female mind is extremely sensitive to behavioral shifts. Even minor changes, a shorter response, a delayed reply, a calmer tone, less enthusiasm, create strong emotional reactions. She notices instantly when your energy is no longer invested the way it once was. Nothing escapes her awareness. She may act like she didn't notice, but she did. She may act like she doesn't mind, but she does. The moment your interest drops, her subconscious begins scanning for answers. Her internal dialogue becomes chaotic. Did I do something wrong? Why is he acting different? Is he losing feelings? Is he interested in someone else? Why am I thinking about this so much? These questions arise not because she's weak, but because losing a man's attention challenges her sense of feminine confidence. She thought she understood her position with you. She thought you were consistent, predictable, invested. Your silence breaks that expectation and forces her into emotional uncertainty. Women hate emotional uncertainty far more than they hate rejection. And here's the truth most men don't realize. Your loss of interest triggers deeper emotions in her than your interest ever did. Interest is comfortable. Lack of interest is alarming. Comfort creates complacency. Loss creates desire. When you stop caring, you remove the emotional safety net she didn't even know she was using. She becomes more alert, more reactive, more introspective. Suddenly, everything you do carries weight. Your absence becomes meaningful. Your silence becomes loud. Your energy becomes mysterious, and mystery to a woman is irresistible. But this stage is delicate. She will not show you that she's affected. She needs time to analyze the situation. She needs to understand whether your loss of interest is real or just momentary. This is why she pretends to be unbothered. Her pride demands it. Her ego requires it. But every controlled breath she takes is covering up a storm she doesn't want you to see. Beneath her mask, she's already spiraling, not because you pulled back, but because she doesn't know why you pulled back. That lack of clarity is the beginning of her emotional investment returning. The woman who once felt certain now feels unstable. The woman who once felt admired now feels replaced. And the woman who once felt in control now feels a crack in her armor. This is the opening stage of her reaction. Quiet, hidden, subtle, but psychologically, it is the spark that ignites everything that comes next. Section number 2. Her curiosity turns into obsession. She begins monitoring you quietly. After she pretends not to care, something deeper and far more revealing takes over her psychology. Her curiosity ignites and rapidly transforms into a quiet obsession. This is the moment she begins studying you, observing your movements, scanning your behavior, and analyzing every detail with a focus she never had when you were fully interested. Your loss of interest shifts her from emotional comfort into emotional alertness. And women operate with intense precision when they feel something slipping away. She won't ask you what's going on. She won't bring it up directly. She won't admit she's affected, but her mind becomes consumed with questions she can't silence. This curiosity doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from fear. Not fear of losing you specifically, but fear of losing the emotional security she once held. She thought she understood your rhythm. She thought your attention was stable. She thought she had time, leverage, and space. But now everything feels uncertain. Uncertainty is the trigger that transforms a woman's mind into a detective. She begins checking your social media more often, not out of jealousy at first, but out of confusion. She's looking for clues in your behavior. She watches your stories as soon as you post them. She views your content silently. She notices your mood, your activities, the people around you. She becomes hyper aware of your presence even when you're not speaking to her. And here's what makes this stage so powerful. Your interest fading makes you unpredictable. And unpredictability is one of the strongest catalysts for female attraction. A man who loses interest suddenly becomes a question mark. And the female mind cannot tolerate unanswered questions. It fixates, it loops, it obsesses. She replaying your last conversations, looking for emotional shifts she might have missed. She wonders what triggered the change. She starts asking herself whether she accidentally pushed you away. The same woman who acted indifferent now becomes internally consumed with the possibility that she misread everything. And this internal conflict heightens her emotional connection to you, even without contact. During this stage, she becomes more sensitive to everything you do. If you post a picture looking confident, she feels pressure. If you seem busy or active, she feels left behind. If you appear unbothered, she questions her appeal. If you seem happy without her, she feels threatened. Women don't obsess over men who chase them. They obsess over men whose emotional state they cannot fully decode. You have become that man. But here is the crucial part. She will not reach out yet, not until she gathers enough information, not until she feels certain that your loss of interest is genuine and not a temporary mood. Her pride won't let her chase openly. Her ego won't allow vulnerability too soon, but her curiosity will push her deeper into you quietly, invisibly, constantly. This is the stage where you are on her mind far more than she is on yours. Without texting her, without calling her, without doing anything at all, you have taken up space in her emotional universe. And she hates that she cares, but she does. And soon that curiosity becomes something even more powerful. Desire mixed with fear. Section number 3. She panics internally and starts testing you. Her control begins to collapse. Once her curiosity starts consuming her thoughts, a powerful shift happens inside her. Panic begins to replace pride. This panic is not loud, dramatic, or visible. It's silent. It lives beneath the surface. She won't show it. She won't speak it. She may not even fully understand it herself, but she feels it. And because she refuses to express it directly, she does the one thing women do when their emotional control slips. She starts testing you. These tests are not meant to hurt you. They are meant to help her understand you. Her pride doesn't allow her to ask, "Have you lost interest in me?" Her ego doesn't allow her to say, "I feel insecure now." Her emotions don't allow her to admit, "I miss your attention." So instead, she creates scenarios designed to expose your true state. Your reactions become the answers she's looking for. Sometimes the tests are subtle. She responds with short, cold messages to see if you still try. She takes longer to reply to see if you double text. She acts distant to see if you move closer. Every action is a question hidden inside behavior. Other times, the tests are more direct. She suddenly brings up another guy in conversation just to see if you react. She posts something provocative online just to see if you watch. She sends you a random, emotionless text just to measure how fast you respond. She wants data, she wants clarity, but she doesn't want to ask for it. This stage reveals something powerful. Your loss of interest has now become a threat to her self-image. Women do not test men they don't care about. They test men whose opinion of them matters. They test men they feel are slipping away. Your emotional distance has forced her into a position she never expected. She is now reacting to you instead of you reacting to her. For the first time, she feels uncertainty about her place in your life. For the first time, she senses competition. For the first time, she realizes she may not have the influence she thought she had. This internal panic pushes her into behaviors she cannot fully control. She will show interest, but hide it. She will feel fear, but mask it with confidence. She will want to ask questions, but replace them with tests. And here's the part most men fail to recognize. Her tests are signs of emotional investment returning, not fading returning. A woman only tests a man when she wants validation from him. She only tests when she cares about his reaction. She only tests when she is scared of losing him. As she watches you remain calm, unshaken, and emotionally disciplined, the panic intensifies because now she realizes the man who once chased her isn't chasing anymore. The man who once gave her comfort now gives her uncertainty. The man she thought she controlled, she no longer understands. Her internal world begins to collapse under the weight of one terrifying thought. What if he truly doesn't want me anymore? And that is exactly when her behavior shifts again from testing to trying. Section number 4. She tries to pull you back emotionally. Her pride fights her feelings. Once her tests fail to pull a reaction out of you, something deeper and more revealing begins inside her. She starts trying to pull you back emotionally. This is not a conscious decision. It is a psychological response to the threat of losing connection, losing control, and losing access to the version of you she once took for granted. But because her pride is still active, she cannot express this desire directly. Instead, she begins using indirect emotional strategies to reconnect with you without appearing vulnerable. Her pride wants distance, but her emotions want closeness. Her ego wants power, but her heart wants reassurance. And because she cannot reconcile these two forces, her behavior becomes a mix of subtle pursuit and disguised longing. She may suddenly become warmer, kinder, or more attentive. She may compliment you out of nowhere. She may initiate conversations more frequently than ever before. She may ask questions about your life that she previously ignored. She may bring up memories, inside jokes, or shared moments to rekindle emotional familiarity. These are not random gestures. These are emotional hooks. She is trying to reestablish the connection without admitting she misses it. Some women will take a different route. They'll express irritation or pretend to be annoyed with you. They'll send messages wrapped in sarcasm or passive comments like, "Oh, I guess you're too busy now. Wow, you really switched up, so you don't text back anymore." These comments are not anger. They are exposed vulnerability wearing a mask. A woman only reacts to your coldness when she feels it, and she only feels it when she still cares. This stage reveals a fundamental truth about female psychology. Women don't fall for men who seek reassurance. They fall for men who make them confront their own emotions. Your loss of interest forced her into emotional introspection. Your distance opened a gap she now feels compelled to close. Your silence became the mirror she cannot avoid. She begins thinking about what she might lose. She begins wondering how another woman might experience your attention. She begins comparing the version of herself you once knew to the version standing in front of you now, and that comparison terrifies her because she realizes she may not have appreciated you until you drifted away. So she tries to re-enter your emotional space in the safest way she knows, not through direct confession, but through subtle actions that communicate interest without demanding rejection or vulnerability. She might send a picture. She might laugh harder at your jokes. She might mention small personal struggles to reopen emotional intimacy. She might even flirt lightly just to see whether you still respond with warmth. Every move has one purpose: to confirm whether she still has a place in your world or whether she has been replaced by a better, more disciplined version of yourself. The most important part, she is now reacting to your energy, not the other way around. Her emotional frame has shifted. Her pursuit instinct has awakened. Her pride is bending under the weight of her feelings. And soon, this emotional pressure becomes too heavy to hide, leading to her most vulnerable and revealing reaction. Section number 5, she breaks the mask and shows her true feelings. The moment she realizes she can't replace you at this stage, her pride has cracked. Her tests have failed, her curiosity has intensified, and her subtle attempts to pull you back emotionally have given her no clarity. This is where the most revealing shift happens inside her. She can no longer pretend. The emotional mask drops, and the real woman beneath finally appears. Unfiltered, uncertain, vulnerable, and far more invested than she expected. A woman can fake indifference, she can fake confidence, she can fake distance, but she cannot fake her response to loss. And when she truly feels your interest slipping away, something powerful and involuntary triggers inside her: fear of emotional replacement. This is the moment she realizes that you are not just losing interest, you are evolving beyond her reach. She begins to feel the weight of the connection in a way she never felt when you were available. Her reactions become raw and unpredictable. She may reach out directly, asking questions she avoided for weeks. She may apologize for her behavior. Even if she didn't before, she might suddenly confess things she kept hidden. She may express jealousy, irritation, or urgency. She might try to reignite the intimacy and closeness she once minimized. All these reactions point to the same internal truth. She now understands that you turned a page without her, and this terrifies her. Because women do not fear losing the man they didn't want. They fear losing the man they thought would always be there. The man whose interest they believed was guaranteed. The man who gave them comfort without conditions. When she realizes she no longer has that comfort, the emotional landscape shifts entirely. Her pride can no longer protect her. Her ego can no longer explain it away. Her mind can no longer keep pretending she doesn't care. She becomes emotionally transparent, sometimes even desperate. This isn't manipulation, it's panic. The panic of losing something that once felt secure. The panic of imagining another woman receiving your attention. The panic of knowing she miscalculated your value. Her voice sounds different. Her words feel softer. Her questions become more personal. Her tone carries weight. And her presence suddenly feels more intentional. This is not coincidence. This is what happens when a woman realizes she underestimated a man who outgrew the version of himself that needed her. The beautiful and brutal truth is this: a woman doesn't chase the man who tries to prove his worth. She chases the man whose worth increases without her. Your loss of interest forces her to confront a reality she avoided. She is no longer the one being chosen. She is the one trying to be chosen again. And in that moment, the emotional tables turn completely. Her fear becomes desire. Her desire becomes longing. Her longing becomes pursuit. This is how a woman truly reacts when she understands she has lost your interest. Not with anger, not with distance, not with ego, but with the realization that she may have lost a man she can't replace. In the end, everything about her reaction when you lose interest comes down to one universal truth. Your attention was never the real power. Your absence was. Most men believe a woman values them more when they show interest, offer affection, and express desire. But psychology reveals something much deeper. Women do not measure a man by how much he gives. They measure him by how he behaves when he stops giving. When you lose interest, not out of anger, not out of games, but out of growth, she is forced to confront the version of herself she was when she believed she had your attention forever. She sees often for the first time the moments she took you for granted, the messages she ignored, the effort she undervalued, the connection she thought was unbreakable simply because you were the one holding it together. But when your interest fades, you stop being the man she was comfortable with. You become the man she must evaluate, the man she must understand, the man she must earn. This shift triggers every psychological reaction we explored: the fake indifference, the silent curiosity, the obsessive monitoring, the disguise testing, the emotional pullback, and finally the raw vulnerability when she realizes she cannot replace you. The irony is brutal. She sees your value more clearly when you stop offering it freely, because your loss of interest reveals your standards. Your silence reveals your discipline. Your distance reveals your emotional strength. Your composure reveals your independence. And your evolution reveals the truth. You were not a man she could keep unless she chose to show up fully. Women do not fear losing men they believe they can control. They fear losing the men who control themselves. Your ability to pull back without collapsing proves something she didn't expect. You were the stable one. You were the consistent one. You were the valuable one. And now your emotional absence leaves a gap she never prepared for, because deep down she thought you'd never step away. But here's the deeper truth. Losing interest is not about abandoning her. It's about returning to yourself. It's about reclaiming your energy. It's about protecting your emotional well-being. It's about choosing your growth over her comfort. And when a man chooses himself, he becomes rare. When a man becomes rare, he becomes desired. When a man becomes desired, he becomes unforgettable. So understand this. Her reaction is not a sign of who she is. It is a reflection of who you became. You stopped trying, you stopped proving, you stopped chasing, you stopped negotiating your value. And in doing so, you became the man she never thought she would lose, and the man she now quietly hopes she can win back. This is the stoic truth. When you walk away from needing a woman, you walk toward becoming the man a woman cannot forget. Remember, knowledge means nothing without action. If you're ready to rise above emotion and lead with purpose, join the community today at the link below. Enroll once, grow forever.